Sorry for the weird, excessively dramatic intro, but the amount of effort that it took to get what's hopefully inside this package needed something special. Those of you following along will know that it has been quite the journey to try to get these filters here. The trip to St. Louis that I took ended up with me having the wrong ones, and then I had to return them. And now we're in Chicago, which is like 200 miles north of Springfield, and that's like the Sears Tower right there, or the Willis Tower, or whatever it's called now. But got the right filters, so I'm pretty happy. But the story doesn't really end there. It was quite the adventure trying to get them over the past couple of days. I don't want to say that I exclusively made the 3-hour drive to Chicago from Springfield to pick up these filters, but it was definitely a big part of the trip. They were supposed to arrive on Tuesday, yesterday. I actually paid for expedited shipping because I wanted to make sure that they were here, and I bought them on Saturday. So you'd think that, you know, 2 business days between Saturday morning and Tuesday that they would have no problems. And to be fair, they did attempt delivery, but what happened is, you know, throughout the day, I'm waiting here all day on Tuesday for these to arrive, and part of the reason why I did the expedited shipping, I should back up for a second, is because I needed to be back in Springfield by today to get back to work, working on that project that I've been talking about, and I was pretty disappointed to find out that these things didn't get delivered. So what happened is they had attempted delivery. I would get messages throughout the day as I was waiting around Chicago all day. Attempted delivery failed, the locker is full. But then it would also be really confusing and say, like, we're still gonna make it by original time. Like, it kind of gave, like, that's what it said. It said, original date still expected by 8 p.m. today. So I was, like, waiting around all day, like, okay, the locker was full. They're gonna try back later. I'm sure there'll be more spots, and that's when they're gonna deliver it. But as we got closer and closer to 8 p.m., there was no notification that it was delivered. So it was really pretty frustrating. I ended up calling Amazon later on yesterday evening and speaking with someone. To their credit, they were super helpful. They credited my account with like a bonus credit, and they just explained, you know, they apologized that it didn't get delivered today, that it was gonna be delivered tomorrow, or today, now that I just picked it up, but you understand what I'm saying. So they were really helpful. You know, I've never had a problem with the Amazon locker service before. It's always been really reliable. It's just kind of unfortunate that the one time that it did actually get delayed like this was the one time that I actually really needed it by the time that I needed it by. Otherwise, the trip to Chicago was a lot of fun. I got to hang out with a couple of friends for a couple days. We pretty much hung out exclusively inside though, because it was so hot outside, and they play guitar as well, so we got to jam a little bit. They're really talented musicians. We also put together this kind of cool music video, so it was pretty nice just getting the chance to relax for a little while I was waiting for this package to arrive. As much as I want to hang out downtown today, I didn't really get the chance to do that over the past couple of days. I really need to get back to Springfield and get back to work. I will be back in Chicago again though at some point next week, and then also more than likely in a couple weeks. So I know that there are a lot of you guys who have reached out to me who are in this area who are trying to meet up. I'll definitely do my best to try to meet up with everyone when I get the chance to, but just so you know, like, I am going to be back in Chicago again pretty soon.
I realized earlier that there's a good chance I've been to more Starbucks locations than like anyone else in the country ever.
Okay, well, maybe not everybody, but I'm thinking it's gotta be pretty close. Even like people who work for Starbucks, like CEOs, regional managers, whatever it could be. I've been to Starbucks locations in just about every major city in the country, and a lot of the time I go to different locations because I like to switch it up so that the baristas don't think I'm like some kind of weirdo all the time whenever I'm coming in like every single day to the same location. This one here is the 4th Starbucks location in Springfield alone that I've been to. I tried tracking it on my Starbucks rewards app, but it only went back like a couple of months, and it didn't really give the specific details about all the different stores that I've been to. I wish there was a way to figure it out over the past 2 years, because I really want to know the exact number. Before starting the whole van life thing, I didn't really drink coffee at all, and even to this day, I don't really drink it unless I'm at Starbucks getting some work done. I just like the fact that it's a quiet place to work, that has good internet access, and it usually works out really well, like 95% of the time. but like I really don't know what like half the things on the menu are. Like I hear all these terms when I'm there, like caramel macchiatos and lattes and stuff, and like I don't really know what any of it means. I remember it taking me like months to figure out how to order an iced coffee. You have to like say tall, and I like to put like the classic syrup in it, a little bit of that, and like they have all these like terms and stuff. It really is like a foreign language. I also realized the other day that I don't think I've ever actually been through the drive-through at a Starbucks before. Here I am, probably having gone to, I'm guessing, somewhere around 200, maybe more locations across the country, and I've never driven through the drive-through. Thought that was pretty interesting. Okay, Starbucks rant is over. Time to get back to work. So it's been a pretty busy day. Got to hang out in Chatham, Illinois earlier this morning. It's a little town not too far outside of Springfield. We met up with a network advisor for this project that we've been working on, which was pretty cool. We got to see like a broadcasting studio. It was pretty awesome to actually check it out. It's a younger Abraham Lincoln. This afternoon we drove out to the New Salem area. It's the Lincoln's New Salem State Park. I'm not really too familiar with what it all is. I'm about to learn a lot about it. We're gonna tour around. We're trying to schedule a story out here for the series that I was talking about, but we figure while we're already here, we might as well explore for a little while and check it out. This place has been pretty cool to check out so far. It's essentially like a 1800s model village, with the claim to fame being that Lincoln lived here for 6 years before he moved to Springfield and continued on his journey to becoming who we know him as today. They have a lot of folks walking around dressed up in costume here, and we found out that they're actually all volunteers, so I thought that was pretty neat that they volunteer their time to do that, and they do a lot of the chores and stuff around the village. So we got to see a few people making up some bread in a cast iron skillet over a fire and preparing some meals, and thought it was pretty cool to be able to experience it like they did back in the day.
And here in front, this house, the one room, it is the entire home. Really very typical of the way most of the families lived back then. Robert, his wife, and 4 children in the one room here. And larger families, they really wouldn't have had a bigger home, but they had the loft and the rafters up above.
Again, that was the 1800s style pioneer village called New Salem here in Illinois. It's really not too far outside of Springfield. I guess you could say closer to the Petersburg, Illinois area. And I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to the original New Salem, if not maybe exactly the same. I don't know how close it is, but it's probably pretty similar to what it looked like when Lincoln was living there. And it was pretty neat to be able to check it out. I know I've already said that, but the folks dressed it up in costume. Well, I don't want to say it was like over the top or anything like that. Like, they didn't talk in weird accents or try to do anything like that, but they did have a lot of knowledge about the history of the area, and they were able to explain it all to us really clearly, and you learned a lot. You know, I definitely would recommend checking that out if you're into history at all and you're in the Springfield area. Thanks for watching, guys. Before ending the vlog, I do have a few new Patreon pledges to thank. Kawa Lau, Kevin Morehouse, and Baron Sawyer. Thank you guys so much for joining the Patreon team. Your support will keep this journey alive. I'll talk to y'all in the next video.